Welcome! Today we'll be discussing a new paper out of the Women's Health Matters Research Lab at Western University titled Resilience Across the Lifecourse for Women Experiencing Intimate Partner Violence. My name is Davidson. I'm the first author on this paper. I'm also a PhD candidate in the Department of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences at Western University, supervised by Dr. Mantler. My areas of research interest include gender-based violence, gender and health equity, breast cancer, and trauma and violence-informed care. Today I'll be presenting a brief overview of the findings from this work. We'll start off with the rationale and gap in the research that we identified, go over our objective and methods, identify our key findings, and the significance of those findings. If you don't have a lot of time, you're welcome to pause here, and some of the key information is right on this slide. Before we get moving, I'd like for us to get on the same page about some key terminology. The first term you need to know is gender-based violence, and this is understood as any harmful act of violence perpetrated against a person because of their gender identity. The next term is intimate partner violence, also known as IPV. This is any physical, sexual, and emotional abuse in the context of coercive control perpetrated by an intimate partner. IPV disproportionately affects women and does present a significant public health concern. The last term you need to know today is resilience, and this is understood as when psychosocial and environmental factors interact, enabling individuals to grow, survive, and even thrive despite exposure to adversity. We are a Canadian-based research team, so I'd like to orient you to the IPV landscape in Canada. According to police-reported data, 79% of Canadians who disclose experiencing IPV are women. And so we can see that this is an issue that disproportionately impacts women. You also may be interested to know that rates of IPV are actually 3.5 times higher among women than their male counterparts. Now that we understand those key terms, let's go ahead and explore the knowledge gap. Previous literature has examined protective individual factors and how resilience may develop in response to experiences of IPV. However, age is often not considered when researching resilience among women who have experienced IPV. A Lifecourse perspective is ideally suited to identifying how women experience IPV at different developmental, social, and historical ages, but has not yet been examined within the literature. This brings us to the objective of this study, and that was to explore the resilience of women of a range of ages who have experienced IPV. This study was a qualitative sub-analysis from a broader cross-sectional mixed method study that occurred from August of 2020 to December of 2021. In order to be eligible to participate, participants needed to identify as a woman, have experienced IPV, and have access to a safe electronic device. We ended up doing 22 semi-structured interviews with women exploring their experiences of IPV. We especially were interested in what kind of life changes they had experienced during COVID-19, current barriers and facilitators to their resilience, facilitators for their future resilience, and any strategies they were using to maintain their resilience at present. The analysis used Thorne's interpretive description, which adopted iterative coding employing the Lifecourse perspective as a parent code, with developmental, social, and historical age as child codes. These were then sorted by age into a series of cohorts. These cohorts were 19 and under, 20 to 30 years, 31 to 40 years, 41 to 50 years, 51 to 60 years, and finally, above 60 years old. As for our results, they're broken down into developmental age, historical age, and social age. Under developmental age, we found that women described being affected in accessing effective services related to IPV. And actually, women of all cohorts described this except for the 60+ bracket. They also described experiences of unsupportive health and social services, and this was reported by all participants among cohorts aged 18 to 50. And finally, experiences of inaccessible services were reported by women aged 20 to 60. Often this was as a result of technology, and that being a privacy and safety issue. As for historical age, we identified that age-related norms often led to rationalizing experiences of IPV. In fact, the normalization of IPV was found across 4 distinct brackets: 19 and under, ages 20 to 30, 41 to 50, and 60 plus. It was also identified that with historical age, many women had a lack of a foundation for a concept of what a normal life is. And by that we mean what a normal life looks like without IPV. Lastly, we also identified a common lack of attention to individual resilience, and that stemmed as well from the normalcy of IPV. And lastly, we have social age. We identified several social roles and their impacts on resilience. These roles were non-adult, among those 19 and under, friend for 20 to 30, daughter for 19 and under and 20 to 30, mother for 31 to 40 and 51 to 60, wife among those 41 to 50 and 51 to 60, and caregiver for those 60 plus. We identified that roles could be helpful, and those were friend, daughter, sister, and mother, and other roles could be hindering. Those are non-adult, wife, caregiver, and also mother when navigating IPV. As for our key takeaways here, overall we learned that developmental, historical, and social age was useful in exploring how both age and time can intersect and shape resilience among women who have experienced IPV. Importantly, we identified that women of all ages described unsupportive services as undermining their resilience. IPV-related health and social services must be more responsive to the social roles that women hold and consider how they can intersect with help seeking and leaving an abusive relationship. And second, social norms that normalize IPV negatively affect women of all ages. As a result, we believe that the general public should be educated about IPV to help correct these misconceptions. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to me at cdavid53@uwo.ca. If you're interested in reading the full article, we've got the DOI posted here. I really suggest you do. I think it's quite fascinating work, and I do believe it's helpful to people who are not only researching in the GBV space, but also health and social service providers, and maybe even women who are navigating IPV themselves. Thank you.